So it's nice to be back and talk to you again, and I have a lot more things to talk to you about this year than we did last year and in the past. And I also have some subject matter experts with me in case you have questions that I can't answer for you. So we'll go right into the one that I hope, the one that most everyone has been interested in the past. And that's our GSM contract, which is our Global Information Gig Services Management Operations contract. We actually expect contract award first quarter of 12. It has been in source selection and development for quite some time, and its predecessor contracts are DISA Global Services, our DISA Network Management Support Solutions for the gig, and our Encore contract. We expect to have significant small business participation as well as large business through subcontracts, very similar to the way we contract today in the DISA, which are anytime there's a large, there is always small businesses participation, very much split contracts to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to participate. And so we can take advantage of the capabilities that each of our vendors bring to bear. The four main areas this contract will support are request fulfillment, so that would be provisioning and those kinds of things where we get new work in to fulfill customer requests, network operations, network maintenance, and network assurance. And so that's where we plan to put those. Some of the potential task order awards, which you will see as sub-elements of that contract, are network operations. Again, we expect to deliver that first quarter 12. Maintenance is in 12. Second quarter 12, some of the network assurance to support cyber defense and things. So we actually support the tools that Mr. Orndorff brings to us. And so that's where we would provide that capability on the operations floors. Contingency support is a little bit different because that's where we actually would have some different kinds of opportunities so that you wouldn't have to use your regular contract task orders to support contingencies. And we expect award of that second to third quarter of 12. And then 5 is the integration, which is where we actually bring new capabilities in and allow the contract to grow, and how we would work with the contractor to do that. And that we expect second quarter of 12 as well. The GSM ETI. So GSM, our existing contracts were actually divided into 3 contracts that all support each other. And part of the reason that was done is because we wanted to leverage everybody's unique capabilities in the industry, as well as eliminate some of the risk of being OCI'd from different task orders because you could compete in different venues. So this is where we plan to do our services management, engineering, transition, implementation, and we expect to award that in first quarter of 12 as well. And it also replaces certain elements of the other 3 contracts. We expect this to be a small business set-aside, and that it will be a multi-award IDIQ contract. So not a single vendor, multiple vendors. That's what we believe that will be. So we're looking to award that. I am going to back up just a little bit. I should have started this way. When I get done with GSM, which is what you're used to hearing me talk about, you're going to hear me talk about some other things that have not traditionally been in my portfolio. Since I talked to you last, we did a major reorganization inside DISA, and so there are some new capabilities that fall to network services that I'll share with you today as well. So ETI, labor, equipment, services for engineering and transition, whereas the O is predominantly operations and that kind of support. We expect some of the task orders that will be awarded based on multiple award competition to be our lab services, engineering support, IP convergence engineering support, tactical edge engineering support, and implementation engineering and implementation support. So you see a lot of engineering tasks in there, a lot of support activities, and those will award again starting second quarter of 12 through fourth quarter of 12. Network services P&S for program support, so services and program support. That has been awarded. It is currently awarded under GSA Alliance Small Business, and it replaces those capabilities on the legacy contracts as well. It is a small business set-aside, and we've been working through that. But one thing I do want to share with you, and part of the reason it's important, even though this has been awarded, is the way that we've done transport for years. Even though we've got transport contracts in place, we also have the bulletin board available to us. So if our primary contracts cannot support us, there are other vehicles we can go out and either do full and open competition or through another existing contract actually get that service. The Alliant is set up that same way. If there is something that we need done that the Alliant small business either no one bids on, which has happened since we've awarded that when we've gone out for task orders, or if there's something that there is a better vehicle, we can still use those other options to provide that service and capability. And this task order or this contract provides labor, equipment, services for project program and acquisition and financial management and some of our operational support systems. So this is a different niche within the DISA and the GIG. Some of the potential task order awards on this are customer service and program management, training, our order entry types of design and engineering software, our change and configuration management, and our operational support systems. And as I said, those are out there today. We've had some task orders go out that no one off of Alliant has bid on, and so we've gone outside for full and open. So it's not, just because it's awarded does not mean that there will never be work there again in the DISN. So please watch for RFIs to go on the street and work with us to help us get those task orders correct as we go out for the business. So the DATS contract is in Access Transport Services. We're getting ready to start work on that re-award or follow-on or whatever that's going to be. And I will tell you that we're looking at all of our bandwidth and our transport globally. Since we now own so much fiber, are our existing contracts the way we want to go in the future? Don't know. We'll have an RFI out and we'd like to get your input as to what are the best ways to do that. Should we modify? Are there things we've done right? Are there things we've done wrong? Are there things you could help us do better as we do those contracting types of things for the bandwidth that we don't own? JITS follow-on. For those of you that don't know what JITS is, it's the Joint Hawaiian Information Transfer System, and it's a follow-on contract potentially. And one of the things as we start work on that, we don't know exactly when we're going to start. We know we need to be awarded by FY16. So we need to start soon. We'll put RFIs on the street. We'll ask for your opinion and your input. What that was originally designed for was in the state of Hawaii, not just on the island of Oahu predominantly there, but the entire state, because their telecommunications requirements were a little different than anywhere else, was to provide a customer end-to-end solution. It's the only place in the DISN we really do end-to-end in our contracts. And because we have changed the way we do business in the rest of the DISN, it's time to relook this to see if we still need end-to-end or if it's just transport or if it's some combination of our other contracts. We don't know today, but you'll hear us ask a lot of questions. And so as we put these RFIs out, we would really encourage you to tell us if you are in that market and able to help with that. What could we do better? Are there things we could leverage of our own? Are there things of industries that we could leverage? How would we partner together to provide the best service possible for the state of Hawaii? DoD Teleport. So this is one of the new ones in the portfolio. So Teleport is alive and well as part of network services. Mr. Bruce Bennett is the PEO for comms who runs the Teleport program. But we expect that his follow-on contract for management, configuration, program office support things will start to be looked at and reviewed first quarter of FY12. Again, I would expect the RFI to go out shortly to be able to figure out what exactly the Teleport program office needs to be able to continue to support the Teleport program on in the future. And it will support that Teleport operations branch. The reason this is different and is not part of the regular DISN P&S contract is because since it is a acquisition PEO, some of the requirements are a little more stringent and a little stricter, so we need a specialized effort to support these folks. These are some of the work that they will be supporting through the program office, just to give you a broad idea of the kinds of things that are there. Everything from logistics to program management to systems integration. And we'll be working that very closely between network services and the PEO to ensure that we've got that right as it comes out to industry. The FCSA Custom Satellite Solutions contract, which was just recently awarded. It was awarded fourth quarter FY11. It says not really any predecessor contracts because it's such a different way of doing contracting acquisition. But for those of you that have worked with us in the past, one of its predecessors was the DSTSG contract, which was a multiple award small business for commercial satellite. And then it rolled in several other things that we had learned through that. So it's a multiple award IDIQs, separate competitions, and that is ongoing. So what happens is when you come in with a new satellite requirement, we go out and award those task orders as they come in as requirements on this contract vehicle. And so some of the things that we believe will come in the future for this are, so I guess it's 8 to 10 blanket purchase agreements. We know that we've got these agreements. People are coming in every day. We've completed transition off of the old satellite, but we do believe that we'll roll in some more things like MRSAT and for other DoD customers as well as federal agencies. Let's see what else we've got. And so that was my last slide in the formal presentation. So now I'd be happy to take any questions. And as I said, if I don't have the answer, I will get one of the SMEs I've got with me to answer it. And then one thing to get to Jerry's question about money. So I have 3 different kinds of money. There's no way I can break down my budget for you. But one of the things that we do a little more predominantly in some of our DISA work is we actually have some customer engagement as well, because they do things in the DISA that we want our engineers to build and design for them. So we would take customer money potentially against some of those task orders, but it's not a specific color of money. Any task order that's in my lines can take any color of money, any amount of money. It depends on the work and where it's going. It's not like I have a budget line for $100 and that's what's going into that task order. It's all based on the work, and it's based on who it's for as to where in the budget it comes out of and what would be put there. So I know that's not a very good answer either, but truly the color of money doesn't matter for our contracts, nor does the amount. What matters is that we are working to support the customers and get you what you need. So I think I see a question at the microphone.
Yes, Ms. Moran. Mike Sinisi, ECS Incorporated. Mm-hmm. Specifically about the GSM contracts, the PNS one in particular, would those be available for use from the other directorates within DISA, and also even out to the decks? Would they be able to use that as their vehicle to get their support?
Absolutely. So the way that all of the GSM contracts are designed is that the scope is large enough that if there is work to do anywhere in DISA that touches the gig and would support those efforts, that yes, we could use those contract vehicles. It might be a separate task order that's not currently awarded, but the overarching contract could be used, yes. I'm looking, I don't see anybody at the middle. Any other questions? Yes. He's going to walk over to a microphone really quickly so you can all, before I change the slide and do something really bad to the system.
Hi, Ms. Moran. This is Calvin from BCMC. I have a question on PNS that you just mentioned. I did see the SB, Small Business Alliance vehicle as the choice, but is there any opportunities where other small business vehicles will be utilized, such as GSA Stars 2?
So typically the way that we would do that is we would go out to PNS as our primary vehicle, depending on the work that was being used. But yeah, we would go to any viable vehicle that could meet the solution, either if Alliant could not bid for it, if they didn't have anybody in that consortium that could bid against it, or if their proposal didn't meet our needs, then we would absolutely look at other contract vehicles, and we would look at small as well as large, and we could potentially even go out for a full and open competition for anything that we couldn't get to under that contract as well. So yeah, just because that's our primary, and I'll use the circuits again as we have primary vehicles we go to that we like to use that are our contract awards, but if they don't meet our requirements, we can always go full and open or to another contract vehicle to meet that requirement. And we leave that to our contracting and acquisition folks to help us do that review, as well as our technical folks.